Hello, I'm going to ask a very simple question. How are you? How are you watching this video? And don't reply with a simple, I'm fine, and you. Really think about it. Like, comment down below how you actually feel and actually respond to every single comment. And if you want to go into a bit more detail, DM me on Instagram and I'll reply. And whatever we talk about will be completely confidential. And I'm asking because it's the festive period. If you live in London, it's dark, it's gloomy, it's raining. A lot of people are with their loved ones but still feel alone. A lot of people are alone and feel alone. And a lot of people just don't know what to do. My audience is typically like 95% guys in the age range 18 to 30. And I know how hard it is to be a guy. Like, not the easiest thing. And it's often seen as just man up and get stuff done.
Fucking man the fuck up sometimes, man.
And what actually prompted this video is I've seen the number of men offering themselves has increased by I think 10% in the last year, which is quite sad. And on this channel, I've never talked about mental health or even talked about my mental health because I wasn't sure that my take on this topic would be appreciated, or the nuances about men's mental health would be more or less appreciated by those watching it.
Most men avoid therapy because most therapy approaches are not designed to help the male brain deal with pain or find solutions.
One I want to highlight here is how men's mental health kind of differs from women's in general, and hopefully it's not sexist. This is just me speaking on what I've observed from different people I've spoken to. A lot of time when people speak about men's mental health, it's you need to open up, see a psychologist, speak to people, and that's fine. Like, men should open up and speak to people. You should open up and speak to someone, but speak to someone that can understand your position, which more times than not is another man, because we live different lives than people. So me as a Nigerian guy, grew up in Nigeria, moved here to the UK. If I want to open up to someone, it'll be someone that can somewhat relate to what I'm going through and understands me, which I guess is why a lot of young black guys that watch my content always reach out to me on Instagram, on TikTok, because they know and they believe that I can understand where they're coming from, and I can. So yeah, open up is good. There's no reason to bottle up how you feel, but the only way to solve and change your situation, the only way to actually alleviate how you feel is to take action.
Why is it a problem for therapy models to focus on helping men feel heard and loved instead of restoring their sense of personal power? Why is that something which is uniquely male, and why is that the approach that therapy models have when trying to fix men?
The brain scans show us that the male brain goes backwards to observe and then forwards to act upon it. It mostly goes like this: back, observe, forward, act. When we see a problem, we act upon that problem. That's how the male brain tends to work. The female brain tends to observe in the back and then go back and forth across the hemispheres and make.
So it's fine to open up. Open up as much as you can, but if there's no action at the end of the opening up time, then it doesn't really matter, because you're going to go back to square one again. We can't just open up and not get anything done after that. How I found that from speaking to people and actually just doing my research, as a guy, after you open up, you just need to make sure that that's not where it stops. And that's what happens to a lot of guys. On this channel, I speak about muscles, money, mental. I'm not trying to reduce all our problems to just muscles and money, but think about it deeply. Like, you watching this video, just think about it. What exactly is the problem? Like, write it down. Like, write it. Like, I'm saying, if it's I don't make enough money, write it down. If it's I don't like the way I look, write it down. And then think, how can I change my situation? If it means you call your friend right now and you speak about it with him and say, hey, this is my issue. How can I change how I feel? I didn't do enough at the gym. Now's your time.
That's it.
Now's the time to put in all the work. Once it gets to the day before the comp, you can't do fuck all. Like, it's over and done with. How are you going to look? How are you going to look?
That's it.
So now's the only time to make a difference. Yeah. Now is the only fucking time. Because ultimately, as a guy, your issue actually always boils down to two main things: how you look and money. Ultimately, most of our issues boil down to those two main things, and maybe how to get girls, and I'd have a girlfriend. But ultimately, if you solve the muscles and money part, that can be resolved quite easily, because we know. And that just keeps on being compounded by social media, because you just go online, you see people that you went to school with now driving a Range Rover, and you're just like, what happened to me? Well, it's never too late. You're never too old to try and make some money. Now, when it comes to making money, I get it. There are not a lot of high paying jobs out there. And we all want to be making six figures, but we all can't be making six figures. But we should all strive to try and make six figures. And after six figures, seven figures, eight figures, you get the idea. We all can't make it because there's just not enough jobs to go around. But it doesn't mean that you watching this video shouldn't be trying to freaking make it. And I love all the messages I get from people that are 14, 15, already trying to plan for their future. They're already asking me, hey, what should I do to get into banking? Hey, what should I do to get into corporate law? How can I become a consultant? These are people that are 14, 13, 15, but they're so eager because they know what exactly they need to do. Now, if you're already 22, 23, 24, you finish uni, you're unemployed, life looks bleak right now. Like, you just think, what's the point of even me being here? Like, I can't do anything. I'm still living at home, or I'm living with my friends. They go to work, I'm at home just being wherever. And it's quite a tough place to be because a man without a purpose is more or less dead inside.
When men experience pain, if they then have to go and just be a burden to someone else, they feel worthless. They would rather march off into the wilderness and die, most typically. Men need to deal with pain by finding a way through it and finding a purpose through it so that they can push through that pain, push through the pain receptors, push through that and follow that mission. If you do that, men can go through the pain and put it in its place because they no longer feel helpless against the pain.
If you can't get that fancy hedge fund or banking job, it doesn't mean you just stay at home and just give up. It does mean though that you need to reinvent yourself. It means you maybe need to look for a different job that will give you some purpose.
Well, so then the question might be, well, how would you go about getting your act together? And the answer to that, and this is a phenomenological idea too, it's something like, look around for something that bothers you and see if you can fix it.
And at the time in my life I actually felt like I had no purpose. It was after I finished my master's and before I got a full-time job. For those 3 months, I was technically unemployed. And obviously when you're a student, you're at uni, you're never really unemployed because you're a student. But when I actually finished my master's, I was really unemployed. I was in my flat in Stratford and applying for jobs was bleak. Like, I'm international as well, so the amount of employers that can actually take you on is even way less. I was already fighting a losing battle by coming here to study because I knew at the end of it, I need to get a job and it's going to be very hard. I won't sit here and tell you it's about having faith because it's really not about having faith. It's really just about doing the work.
Hard work actually works, and with virtually everything. It might not make you the best at whatever it is you're pursuing, but it will certainly make you better than you are. Imagine who you could be and then aim single-mindedly at that. That's one. And then work as hard as you possibly can on one thing and see what happens.
And I'm talking about this right now because the odds will always be stacked against you. Like, it's just a fact. It's just about you doing what you have to do every day, regardless of how you feel. A lot of times when I was at university, a lot of my friends said, hey, like, you don't really have people you hang around with. And if you do, it's 2 or 3 people. And it's because I only want to keep like-minded people around me. I don't want people to have a victim mindset. I don't want people around that actually blame everyone except themselves for why they're not where they're meant to be.
If I'm a victim, then everyone else owes me something, and I don't have to take any responsibility. And so one of the things I've wondered, here's something to think about. It might be that the sense of meaning that life can provide to you is proportionate to the amount of responsibility you decide to take on.
I could easily blame the world for me being an immigrant, for not having a job, for me being whatever skin color for not having a job. I could blame like 7 different things, and in some people's worldview, I'd be very justified, but I don't see myself that way. I am a type A person. I believe my destiny is more or less in my control, and I want you guys to believe the same thing. That's the whole point of me making this video and of me always talking to people about muscles, money, and mental. Your life is in your control. And the moment you start to think it's not, then you're a guy without a purpose and you're more or less dead inside. So if you're feeling like you don't know what to do, like sometimes it just so happens that what you thought was your purpose ends up not being it and then you're lost, message me on Instagram or just comment below. I'll reply to every single comment. I'll reply to your Instagram message. And if you message me before on Instagram, you know I'm going to reply with a voice note, not some one-word answer on my text, because the position I find myself in is I can't help but recognize the fact that people actually look up to me and I have some sort of responsibility to those that follow me. Don't delay messaging me if you see it. Message me straight away, because the sooner you can speak to someone and get things rolling, the better for you. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.